Harley lovers, today I'll be replacing the light bulb on a fuel gauge. The fuel gauge light bulb burned out, and I've been riding like that for a few years, and finally I decided, well, I think the time came to get this light bulb replaced. So you can see I got the light bulb. It's actually cost like $5 from a Harley dealership, and you can see that if I turn on my bike, all the light bulbs are on, indicators, and the fuel one is out. Alright, well, the task is pretty simple. What we need to do is gain access to the fuel gauge. So to get access to that fuel gauge, what we need to do, we need to remove this fairing. And to remove this fairing, we need to pull 7 screws out. The 3 on top, there's a 1, 2, and 3 over here, and there's 2 on the back on this side of the fairing. So over here there's 1 over here, and if you can see, there's 1 hiding right up there. Let me get the light. So I hope you can see that one over there, and similar 2 screws are on the other side. So because we're gonna be working around wiring and there's a possibility of shorting something, always is a good idea. It's required to remove the main fuse. Now the main fuse is located right here behind the left hand side cover. So in order to take the cover off, we need to take the saddlebags out. To do that, we open, we turn the screw. This is like quick locks. And we carefully pull the saddlebag out and we put it aside. Okay, now we can pull the cover off. Just like so. And looking here, this is the main fuse. So if you pull the main fuse out, there won't be any power on the bike. So we pull it out and just leave it over here. So we're good to go now. So in order to do that, we're gonna need a set of correct Torx bits. And let's see if I remember what size is that. That's a little bit too big. Yeah, so this one is T27. We're going to remove all screws in that. Alright, so now the bearing should come off. Just need to make sure we don't drop the windshield. Alright, so now grab it carefully, because if you can see, the headlight harness is still attached. So you can't really pull it far away, but you can tilt it to the side like this, and the fairing comes off. So now I can just disconnect. All right, so light bulbs, to take it out, it's really easy. You see over here the little engagement. So what you need to do, let me turn it around so you can see. You basically push on this and try to get this wire from under this tab. But because my light bulb kind of twisted a little bit, I'm gonna have a little bit of a problem. So I need to position the light bulb back, or like this, and now it should come out. Funny that it broke like that. I'll have to go buy another one. All right, so back to business. Let's just see what do we have in here. Okay, so looking at that. All right, so looking at that, I'm just gonna inspect if there's anything else. If everything sits in place. All right, so the fuel gauge is this one. So it wasn't even sitting inside properly. It's just flopping around. I'm not quite impressed with that. Anyway, so that's the light bulb I need to replace. So let's pull the light bulb out. Yes, it's definitely burned. And the only reason why you have to pay $5 for this little tiny light bulb is because of this yellow plastic cover. But I'm wondering if I pull it off, can I reuse it later if needed, because I can just buy a regular light bulb. Okay, I can deal with that later. So now I just want to make sure that when I insert this, that the light bulb socket is actually gonna sit inside. Okay, so the socket just wasn't inserted all the way, so maybe that was the reason why it burned, because it was shaking too much. Okay, now let's pull it out properly. Okay, now let's put the light bulb in. All right, so what we need to do, we just need to insert the light bulb into the socket. So before we button everything up, let's just double check, make sure that the light bulb is working, and we can close this up. So to do that, I need to go reinsert the main fuse back. Okay, and now I'm gonna turn the ignition, and voila, here's the light bulb, it's working. So shut it off, pull out the main switch, main fuse again. Okay, so here's the main fuse again, and now we can close everything here. And we're gonna insert this all the way in, make sure it's seated, and then just connect the wiring harness, and that's it. So that takes care of the light bulb replacement. I'm gonna attempt to replace the headlight bulb socket. And the reason for that is you can see that after 10 years that cover start falling apart, and the whole plastic, it's really brittle. So I want to replace this plastic piece because I don't want to put it back into the bike. So in order to do that, we need to pull these contacts out of the socket and see if I can buy another socket. I think they should be available, but we'll see. So I'll try to remove it careful without breaking anything in case I need to put it back. So in order to remove the contacts, first I need to swing back this back cover, and in order to do that, there's a little tabs that I can lift. There's one on the bottom. So if you look like this, the one tab is on the bottom, one is right here on the side, and one is on this side. So just you can lift it up with your finger. So now this cap opens up, and now what we see 3 contacts inside. So in order to pull the contacts out, you could use some special tools, but if you don't have them, this is more of like a specialized tools. So you can just use a small screwdriver. Let me go get one. So I think a screwdriver of this size will do. So what do we need? We need to push. There are 2 tabs on the side. So one tab over here, and there's one tab over here. So we need to push them down and then pull this contact out. So let's see if I can do that. Yeah, might need second screwdriver. All right, so using 2 screwdrivers, I'm gonna insert one over here, and I'm gonna insert the second one on the other tab. I'm using a pair of pliers. I'm gonna pull the contact out. So that's how you remove it. Pretty simple. And I'm also gonna try my set of tools that I bought, and I had a feeling I need to buy it, but I just wasn't sure why do I need it. And now is the perfect time to actually try one. Let's try this one. So theoretically, put the tool in. Yeah, that's second. All right, so now all I have left is last contact. Okay, so I think I found the correct tool. Now I'm gonna try and pull the thing out. Okay, so now that we have the wires out, I can go and see if I can get a replacement socket like that. All right, so now going back to the headlight installation, I went to the store and I picked up this adapter, and I wanted to replace the original socket, but looking at this, the quality is not really good because the wires are kind of open in the back. So I decided to use the old connector. This one I fixed it a little bit. I glued it in place. So I'm gonna install it back. So let's see if I remember how the thing was. So looking at this, we see there's 3 wires. Flip it like so. So one was over here, this one on top, and this one was on the side. So we'll start from this 1, 3. Sorry, that was 2, and this is gonna be number 3. And now I can close the cap. So it's nice and stays in. Now I'm just gonna double check that they don't get pushed out. Yeah, that seems like it sits pretty good. So that should be okay. All right, now I also got the light bulb, same one as I got before. I got the previous one I got in 2014 as I was getting ready to go on a long road trip, and I have no complaints about it. They seem to be pretty good. Paid almost 60 bucks for this light bulb. Okay, so careful when you handle the light bulb. You don't want to touch the bulb with your bare hands. So now I'm gonna open up the spring. I think that's goes this way. Putting it into the socket, and now just need to lock this in place, and then we're putting the rubber boot. So it says this one goes on top, this goes on the bottom, so the rubber boot should go like so. All right, and now we should be ready to install the fairing back into place. So first, of course, we need to connect the light bulb socket in. So just push it in. Slide it in place, and that's the fairing. Now we need to put the windshield in. Slide the windshield. So you're gonna see when you position the windshield, you need to place this in this little pegs. So it just clicks and sits there in place. And now we can bolt everything up. So at first, I'm just gonna start the bolts. Don't tighten them all the way, just to position it in place. So that I can still move it around. Alright, so this is 4 bolts in. Now I just need to put the string and the 3 bolts. So we're just gonna snug it. So this fasteners get torqued to 3.5 Newton meters max. So that's really low. My torque range actually starts at 3.6 Newton meters. So that's what I'm going to be using. So we'll start from the center. And this torque is really low. You can see I can probably, if I tighten by hand, I'm gonna over tighten it. But you don't want to over tighten because the threaded bushings on the other side, they are incorporated into the plastic. So if you over tighten, you always risk to break that plastic and lose that bushing. Alright, so that takes care of that. We replaced the light bulb. We replaced the light bulb on a fuel gauge. So that's how it's done. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.